A storm is quietly brewing behind the scenes, full of quiet determination, whispered promises of redemption, and the tension of a legacy being built with every representative. In the shadow of seasoned giants and under the spotlight of lofty expectations, a surprising figure is emerging, not with bravado, but with a presence that demands attention. As the noise grows louder and the stakes rise, what happens next could redefine the trajectory of an entire season. I'll tell you all about it in detail, but first, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you're new here. Let's go! Aaron Rodgers, Pittsburgh Steelers, graveyard. 3 words you probably didn't expect to be linked so soon, but when Myles Garrett talks, people listen. And when he smirks about putting a future Hall of Famer in the graveyard, Browns Nation, you better believe that was the spark lighting the powder keg for what might become one of the most electrifying storylines of the upcoming season. We're bringing you the heat straight from Berea, where Cleveland's mandatory minicamp just opened, and the quarterback room, it's crowded. Veterans Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett, each with something to prove, are locking horns with not one but 2 rookies, Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders. And it's Sanders, the 5th-round pick who fell unexpectedly far in the draft, who's quickly becoming one of the most compelling stories in Browns camp. Now, let's not sugarcoat it, Sanders wasn't getting many reps during OTAs. He looked firmly planted at the bottom of the depth chart. But what caught everyone's attention, coaches, media, and teammates alike, wasn't his arm. It was his attitude. Speaking to reporters after day 1 of minicamp, Sanders didn't sound like a rookie licking wounds. He sounded like a future leader. A man with a plan. My goal is to be the best teammate and to be as positive as I can be, he said. I view things as I've got time. Time to grow, to understand the ins and outs of defenses, to absorb insight from the vets. When it's time for me to play, it's time for me to play. The kid gets it. He's not just showing up, he's tuning in. And then he dropped something that should be taped to every locker in the facility. When you get in a game, nobody cares how many reps you got. Everybody cares about production. Let that sink in. That's the kind of perspective that doesn't just get you respect in the locker room, it earns you a shot when it counts. What's even more striking is the calm, calculated energy he brings. He's missed throws. He's had slow dropbacks. He knows that. He's working on it. What he's not doing is panicking. He's not chasing the spotlight, he's preparing for it. I'm focused on the small things, Sanders explained. And over time, the big things will happen. Compare that with the context of this fierce quarterback battle, and Sanders' poise starts to feel different. Not cocky, but confident. Not naive, but readying. Now pivot with me to another big name making waves this week, Nick Chubb. Yeah, that Nick Chubb. The man who was the heart and soul of the Browns' backfield for 7 incredible years. Chubb is officially a Houston Texan now, after passing his physical and signing the papers. And while fans are still reeling from the emotional breakup, it was Browns legend Hanford Dixon who summed up the collective feeling best. Speaking directly to Chubb on his show, Dixon said, "Please, please, please, big dog, if you play against us, don't hurt us. That's respect. That's reverence. That's love." And it also says everything about what Chubb meant to this franchise and how painful it was to let him go after that brutal knee injury in 2023. Now, unless fate or the playoffs intervene, we won't see a Browns-Texans face-off until 2026. But let's be honest, that clock has already started ticking. Meanwhile, another story is brewing right here in the AFC North. The Steelers went out and made one of the boldest moves of the offseason, bringing in 41-year-old Aaron Rodgers. And who was the first to react? You guessed it. Myles Garrett. Good opportunity to put him in the graveyard, Garrett said, flashing that classic grin. If you're new here, you might not know, Garrett has a tradition. Every Halloween, his front yard transforms into a cemetery filled with gravestones, and each one bears the name of a quarterback he sacked. It's theatrical. It's savage. And it's personal. Garrett has already sacked 31 different QBs. He's recorded 12 or more sacks in each of the last 5 seasons. The man's got 102.5 sacks before turning 30. He's a one-man nightmare, and he's already picturing Rodgers in that Halloween display. And why not? Rodgers was tied for the 7th most sacks taken last season. And the Steelers' offensive line? Still a question mark. With two regular season matchups between Cleveland and Pittsburgh this year, October 12th and December 28th, Garrett will have multiple shots to make good on his promise. This is more than rivalry. This is folklore in the making. A veteran looking to extend his legacy. A defensive juggernaut at the peak of his power. And a rookie quarterback, quiet but locked in, waiting for his moment. So now we turn to you, Browns fans. What do you think of Shedeur Sanders' mentality? Is he the future starter we've been waiting for? Drop your thoughts in the comments. While Shedeur Sanders is quietly crafting his legacy from the ground up, Myles Garrett is already fortifying his. And Browns Nation, this isn't just about sacks, it's about something bigger. It's about a mindset that is starting to define this Cleveland Browns era. One driven by accountability, purpose, and just the right amount of swagger. That's what Garrett brings every time he steps on the field, and you better believe he's locked in on Aaron Rodgers. Let's rewind to that smirk and the graveyard comment. It wasn't just a Halloween reference. It was a warning shot. Rodgers might have a resume fit for Canton, but Garrett's already eyeing how to carve his name a little deeper into NFL history. And while it might seem like fun and games, this rivalry with Pittsburgh just got way more personal. Garrett knows exactly what Rodgers brings to the table: experience, poise, a cannon for an arm. But he also knows the Steelers' offensive line struggled with injuries last season. Rodgers went down 40 times behind the Jets' O-line in 2024. That's not a fluke. That's opportunity. The Browns' defense, led by Garrett, is already one of the most feared in the league. Adding Rodgers to the AFC North doesn't intimidate, it invigorates. It's fuel. And while we're speaking about legacy, how about Nick Chubb? His time in Cleveland might have officially ended, but his impact remains stitched into the fabric of this franchise. Four-time Pro Bowler. The heartbeat of the offense. A quiet warrior who let his feet do the talking. His departure? Painful. Necessary? Maybe. But that doesn't make it any easier to accept. What stings most is the thought of seeing him on the other sideline, wearing a Texans uniform. Maybe not this year. Maybe not even next. But eventually, that face-off is coming. And Browns fans will have to watch a man who gave everything carry the ball for another city. Still, there's a kind of poetry in Hanford Dixon's plea, "Don't hurt us, big dog." It captures the duality of sports, fierce competition and enduring loyalty. Because even in another jersey, Nick Chubb will always have a home in Cleveland. And let's not forget the bigger picture. This isn't just about Shedeur, or Garrett, or Chubb. It's about a team reshaping its identity. Veterans and rookies. Departures and arrivals. Quiet competitors and outspoken leaders. This is the blend that could make the 2025 Cleveland Browns more than just playoff contenders. This could be the beginning of something lasting. So here's what we want to know. What are you most excited about heading into this season? Is it the fire Myles Garrett is bringing to the AFC North? The steady climb of Shedeur Sanders? Or maybe, deep down, you're still holding onto a little Nick Chubb nostalgia? Drop us a like if this story fired you up. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a single update from Browns Nation. And make sure to sound off in the comments. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Anal. Go Browns!